I'll wait for Shanae to get on the call, guys. She's going to message me when she's on. So welcome to the call. Thanks for taking time out tonight to come onto this call. You know, I'm dead excited to have this lady on the call. You know, she, like I said, if you want there, she's setting the Juice Plus world alight. You know, and obviously she's going to share a lot with you, but she hasn't got a magic wand. Like, she's like, a lot of people think, oh, what's she doing and all this. She's just got like a fuck it attitude and a great work ethic. And hopefully she's going to share with us, you know, what she does daily and, you know, some top tips and all the rest of it. And do you know what? Probably most of it you already know. There's not going to be nothing you already don't know. But she just is relentless, and she just, you know, has built a huge empire. So, but anyway, her words are going to be inspiring, and I can't wait to hear her as well. You know, she's a £1 million pay line, which means every month her orders that go for a month is £1 million, which is about 4 times. So her business is about 4 times as big as mine, which is it's ridiculous. It's huge. So, you know, we can, like I said, we can learn a lot, and I'm happy. So just wait for her to get on the call. I'll just message her now. But I'm dead excited, guys. I'm dead excited. Okay, she's not here. So show of hands if you've got your Bournemouth ticket. Coolio, quite a few of you. Happy days. So you guys, if you were at Birmingham, obviously you knew how good it was. It was out of this world. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. And Bournemouth is going to be the biggest convention that the UK has ever had in its whole history. So how amazing is that? like you can be a part of it. Like I'm, you know, that for me really excites me. So get your tickets. I know they've sold half already, 2,100. As in a couple of weeks they're going to release the Birmingham video, and another 500 are going to go on sale, like at the cheaper price. So try and get on there, and you know, it's going to be amazing. So cool. I think she's on the call. Yeah, she is. Let me just unmute you, Sinead. You there, Sinead?
Hi. I was just thinking, I'll just message you like, I'm here.
You all right?
I didn't realise the time. It's
That's
Thursday
all right, yeah.
in my house. So
brilliant.
the gym, and I'm celebrating.
You've been drinking?
I've just got myself one now.
Yeah, you deserve
like,
it.
Counterproductive. I've just got back from the gym.
Yeah. So let me just welcome you quickly. Obviously, you probably don't need an introduction, but those new speakers I've got on the call. So Shanae is a 28-year-old mum. She joined the business.
Are you reading the notes from the other day?
Yeah, of course I am.
That's so cute.
So she's been in the business 3 years ago, hit PMD in 11 months, which is incredible. And while she was pregnant, prior to Juice Plus, she worked in sales, and now your business turns over £1 million a month, and you are in 15 different countries, which is absolutely unbelievable. So massive well done. And thank you so much for taking time out this evening to come on the call. You know, obviously, you know, you're nothing to do with my team or anything like that. So, you know, it is much appreciated. So just tell the guys just a bit about yourself and, you know, your background before Juice Plus.
Do you know what I was just going to say? I'm in 18 countries now, and I didn't even realise until earlier on. I was like, where have these popped up from? And that just kind of shows you how crazy this business is. Like, it just changes so much. So yeah, what was the question? What was my...
Yeah, what was you doing before and how you got into it, really?
So I was a yo-yo dieter, and I was just working in an office. I had a really busy kind of sales job, nothing too exciting. And I was introduced to the product through my sister, and she was taking it and she was telling me all about it, as you do, kind of like the absolute way of referrals, telling me all about this product, and I was completely sold. And I was like, oh my God, I need to get some. I'm pretty sure she ripped me off as well, because I definitely paid more than she paid. And so she was like getting me some of this, and I thought it was really illegal. I'd never heard of it before, so I was like, I didn't ask any questions. She didn't even know anyway. So I was just like taking the complete. And I never really like it was. I started like with the shakes, and I never asked questions. She never gave me information, and it was kind of the way it started, right? And I've never really been a fan of like proteins or anything, so I never really knew about them. I just did what I was told to do, have 2 shakes, healthy snacks, and it really kept me full through the day. So I loved the product straight away. I'd been in sales for years. I'd done so many different kind of jobs, from like door-to-door sales to working in an office to all sort of like really shit jobs, to be totally honest. And so I was kind of like, I'd always seen these, work from home businesses, and I always thought, yeah, right. Like if it was really that easy, then we'd all be doing it. So I was a skeptic of the industry, but I loved the product. And when I realized that the product was part of the same sort of network marketing business, I was sold. And I mean, I was sold. It was my sister's wedding fitting, whatever you would call it. And then her bridesmaid was there, and she was the distributor for Juice Plus, and she was saying, how are you getting on with it? And I was like, oh my God, baby, you want it too? Like, I was like, oh my God. And it was really funny. And I was really drunk. Like, if you know me, it's kind of like a standard. And we were drinking like all day and all night. And she was like, you should join this team. I was like, oh my God, I just want to be, I was like, I want to do it. Because she was brand new. She didn't really know how to sign me up. So she was like, I'll get someone to give you a ring. And I was like, okay, fine, that's wicked. So then she would get Emma Karen to give me a call. Emma Karen, I think this is when her daughter was really poorly. She was only like really, really baby. And like no one phoned me, and I was fuming. So now I was ringing the office, and I was emailing the office, and I was like, I really want to join this team, because everyone I knew was like, why, your energy levels are different. Your skin, I used to have really bad acne, and I don't have any of that anymore. I have really bad psoriasis all over my face. I had none of that anymore. I love the products. Like I was so sold on the benefits because I'd seen so much difference with myself. So then when I kind of was like, oh my God, I need to join this business. Like I'm gonna make millions. And like I was just like because I loved it, and I was like, oh my God. And like no one rang me back. And I mean, this went on for about 2 weeks. It got to the point where like I was ringing Milan, and I was like, hello, and they were like, I don't know, in Italian, and I was just like, fucking hell, what's going on? And then John Holloway rang me one day, and he was like, hey, I've heard you're interested in the business. It's like, yes, finally someone's rang me back. He's like, do you know any distributors? I said, I know Emma Karen. Emma Karen will call you. I was like, no, she's not calling me. Like, she's been saying she's going to call me for the last couple of weeks. Like, I was that keen. And you have to understand that I was that keen because I loved the products. I wasn't that keen because I'd never seen Forever Living before. I'd never seen, all these the Avons, the Clean Easies. I'd seen these companies all the time. I never really bought into their way, but I knew I loved the product, and I knew I wanted to join the team, right? So that's kind of how I got involved. I didn't really want to mention it on stage because I think John gets pissy. He's like, I really should have signed you up.
Yeah.
It's like so random, but it's kind of crazy because it obviously makes my upline look like a bit of an idiot, which she is, to be fair.
Yeah. So explain to the guys then, there's loads of new guys on it, and loads of people are really interested. How did you get started? What did you do?
When I first got started, do you know what, to be honest, right, how funny is this? I loved the product. I knew I wanted to join the team. I was so keen. And I could not get a customer for my life. No. I was like, this is so shit. And I was just like, oh, I've really overhyped myself. I didn't get any customers for about 2.5 weeks, I think. I got not one. And this was back in the day when the bonus structure was very, very different. You had to get your bonus for SDD. You had to do it in your first month. If you didn't do it in your first month, the second month if you did it in your second month, you got half the bonus. And if you did it any other month after that, you got no bonus. So I was like really quite keen, obviously, to get the bonus because I think I'd sold myself so deeply about the team that I'd convinced myself I was going to do it. And then it was like a couple of weeks in and I had no customers, nothing. And I was like, oh my God, this is really hard. So I really hit my Facebook hard. So like I was always talking to people at work, I was talking to the office. And then when I was going up to people, I was really inappropriate. I made so many mistakes. I was like, hey, do you remember like a month ago you said I look skinny? Well, let me tell you why. And they were like, okay. I was like, come back. Like I was really keen. And it didn't work. So I was like, right, I need to go for my Facebook. And then I think I just started opening up a bit more on Facebook about kind of what I was doing, and that was really scary because it's unusual. We have this like persona on Facebook where we try to be like, I don't know, these better versions of ourselves. People don't like to be vulnerable on Facebook, so then I think opening up to being vulnerable is really kind of where it started. I had a really bad sort of weight problem when I was younger. I was size 20 when I was about 14, 15, and I had polycystic ovaries, and like my weight fluctuated, and a lot of people I knew for years had seen me go through this struggle where I was really heavy and I lost loads of weight, and I was really heavy again and lost loads of weight, and because it was so like because it was such a raw topic for me, because it made me upset, I never really spoke about it. So then I started being more vulnerable to my friends on Facebook, and I got like, I think I technically hit SDD in about 3 days. Wow. And it was all like my friends who were like, some of my friends from like way back from school were like, do you know what, Sinead, like I know that you wouldn't give up, you wouldn't chat shit to us because I remember you at school, I remember the struggle you went through and all that kind of thing. I put this big post up on Facebook kind of like declaring the fact that I'd been so miserably on a diet for the whole of my life and I never found anything that worked for me. And the things I tried, I mean, I tried everything. I was always sick. I was always, you know, I was taking diet tablets that were giving me heart palpitations. Like I was drastically trying to lose weight for years. And this was the first time I did it in a way that I felt good about it. And I think it hit a really serious nerve with a lot of people that I knew, even to the point where I would have friends of mine recommending their friends, saying like, hey, I know you've been thinking about that diet tablet, you don't want to go there, you need to add Shanae. Like, I remember this girl from way back, she used to be a heifer. Like, you need to add her on Facebook. Like, it was kind of like that. And that's kind of how it grew. And because it was sincere as well, which is hard to do sometimes, it's hard to be that vulnerable. But I think actually I was on a date with Lee and I was a bit drunk and I did it really quickly and I was like, get me a wine. I'm not that much of an alcoholic, by the way, but I kind of am. So I did. It was really on a whim. It was really scary, and I never regret it. It was one of those things that it could have gone really horrible, I think, but you'd be surprised that your friends actually love you. I'll never regret being that vulnerable, and it kind of opened me up to a different world of people who are vulnerable back. And then that's kind of how my whole business has grown, because it's the same with money, it's the same with the team. No one really talks about being broke until they're not broke and they can tell you the story, because the story is a bit too raw. And I mean, I get this all the time with my team members, like, oh, you know, I was on the verge of me and my boyfriend breaking up because we kept arguing about money, and now we don't do that. Or, you know, I haven't paid my rent in like 2 months and I'm a single mum, and like I've not told anyone because I'm so ashamed, and now I'm up to date. Those kind of stories, people don't talk about that. Yeah. So that's kind of where it kind of came from. And then I did that with my customers. I got a few of my customers that way, and then I felt like I had a reason to help other people do the same thing. I knew that I had to build a team. I didn't necessarily want to until I knew I could get my own customers. I felt like I wanted to help my friends build teams, but I wanted to show them how I've done it. So I did that for the first, but then it was all very, very quick. So this is all very in the same month. So it was like till the end of the month, a couple of days, I was like, yes, I've done SDD. And then I was like, I'm going to get some team members. So I rang my sister, who was the person who introduced me to Juice Plus. I was like, you're joining the team. She's like, I don't want to. I said, you have no choice. You're doing it anyway. And like now she's a Q&MD in my business. She has got a crazy business underneath her. She's got PMDs underneath her business. So she's got like it's like something stupid like $250,000 pay line or something crazy. You know, she's happy. She's happy as shit. Like, but I helped her build her business from the beginning. She was my very first team member, and I wanted to help her the way that she'd helped me. And I did the same thing with a few of my friends. I was like, okay, like I'm doing something now, and I've just got my first few customers, and I really want you to do the same. And I was really quite like adamant about it. Like I was like, you have to join me.
Yeah. So you really put yourself out there, and
yeah, because if you're not vulnerable, people don't like, they won't be receptive to you. You have to be vulnerable. You have to be honest and really kind of tell people why, the benefits that they're going to get from it, rather than just talking about yourself, because that's really difficult, because we talk about ourselves a lot. We love talking about ourselves. But when you explain to people why it's going to help them, it really changes the whole conversation. and it made a massive impact to my business from the very beginning.
So you started creating a customer base, you started creating a team. Obviously, that momentum come with it. And a lot of my team on here wanted to know what's your DMO, or what was your DMO at that time? What did you do?
My DMO is crazy, and my DMO is not different because I'm on it all the time. So I will always be adding people. I will always be, because I'm a massive fan of social media. I'm a massive fan of Facebook in particular. I also do quite a lot with Instagram. So I don't know if you guys get quite heavy on Instagram? Do you know?
Some of them are, yeah. Some of them do.
Cool. So I love Instagram. Like Instagram I've had customers, I've had team members, I've had loads of stuff on Instagram. And Instagram is actually kind of an easier way to build, build momentum sometimes, because we're so naturally nosy on Instagram. We're just constantly looking for nice pictures and nice things people are doing. We go looking for it. Whereas Facebook, we tend to look for drama, like who's who, like what's going on. So Instagram, I've noticed a big shift in my business from Instagram, but that's been sort of later into my Juice Plus career, if you like. At the beginning, very much it was Facebook, and it comes back to like the sales tactics. Like I used to ring companies all the time, and I would be like cold calling businesses, and it was always about numbers. The more people you speak to, there's a percentage you're going to get a yes, and you never know where it is. But it's there. Otherwise, these big companies, these big call centers wouldn't exist. And I was kind of like well aware of that, so I was just going through numbers. But with people, you have to build relationships, so that can take time. But I was building relationships en masse. So obviously, I have my Facebook, whereas when I'm talking outwards, I could be talking to like 7,000 people at the same time by just sharing my stories. And then sometimes I'll have private conversations, but it's always about kind of the bigger volume rather than doing one-on-one, because it can be quite tedious and time consuming. And sometimes it doesn't get you much momentum back. So I'm a big fan of Facebook. There's loads of things on Facebook I could go through that probably help you as well. I'm really hot, sorry. Huge fan of Facebook, huge fan of so many things that you can do with that. And just really kind of, I suppose, going through numbers, but going through it with intention rather than just like liking stuff. That's kind of the mode people get stuck in. We get stuck in to do the nice things, and then all of a sudden you've got, oh my God, I'm really working hard on my business. I put up like 3 posts today. I've added 2 people. I'm like, okay, cool. And then what have you done with that? Oh no, nothing. I'm like, no, those are just the pretty shit. That's not going to get you customers. Do you genuinely think people get to like PMD positions with earning thousands a month because they just put pictures on Facebook?
You think that's due to people's comfort zones? They just don't want to
talk to people. You have to really get into conversations and take them offline as well. Meet them for coffees, meet them for whatever, like ring them up. Like it's just, you have to really go out of that way, because it has to go from being Facebook relationship to real life. And we all have those Facebook friends that you'll always be like, oh my God, your son is so cute, or I love your shoes. But then when you see them in public, you're like, fuck, and you hide because you're like, I don't want to look at her. Like, we all have those Facebook people, but that's not a real friendship. So you need to kind of make it a real friendship by actually engaging with people as well. And it takes time, but it's always worth it. Plus it's a bit nicer as well. You feel like you're actually like, I don't know, having a life. Like it just feels better. It feels a lot more organic, and you can build so much more with that. So yeah, my DMO is definitely speaking to people, constantly building on my list, building on my audience, if you like, and just really going for it. Like I would probably speak to 5 people a day, every day now, about the business or the products now. And if you imagine that's 5 people a day now, that's 150 in a month. You really, for this, right, everyone's different. So when you're really, really confident with the product and you're really confident with the business and you have a compelling story and you know how you're going to sell yourself, if you know what I mean, you don't necessarily need to speak to as many people. You could probably speak to like 50 people and get maybe 10 customers, and that comes with confidence, that comes with practice, and the longer you're in the business, and you have to be in the business for long, and you have to always be keeping yourself motivated, then you get better at that and your numbers get lower. If you're in the business for a long time and you're not motivated, you're actually kind of churning you're like churning conversations for the no reason, because you're going to be going into conversations flat. You're not going to be even like building impulse. You're not going to be like sharing anything. You're not going to be selling anything, and you're kind of just burning conversations for the sake of over talking. That can happen too. So what you want to be thinking of is, how many people do I need to speak to get one customer, and have a think about what your ratios are. Everyone's different, and whatever your number is absolutely fine for you, because that can change. And even if it doesn't change, you can work on it. So if you know that you need to speak to 10 people to get one customer, then you need to speak to some, like, a lot of people, and just kind of think of it that way. And you know what? That's not hard, because if you know that you speak to 3 people a day, in a month that's almost 100, and that's 10 customers. And if you have 10 customers who are, for example, on shakes and capsules, that's already SDD. And that's crazy. And then if you have 10 customers, and this is when it just makes everything sound so simple. And then if you have 10 customers and you have a really good support group, and you're really active in the group, and you actually try and give value to it, and you're funny, and you share stuff, and you do things like this with your customers. Maybe it could be anything, or you just want to do silly videos and you make it more of a community, not just like, oh, who's weighs what, or what's everyone eating, because like there's only so many like of the same thing that you can see. Like, what's your shake look like? Oh, mine too. Like, yeah, odd. Like, there's only so much of that you can do. Once you've got that, your ratios start going down. So then you've got 10 customers, and you might get 2 team members from 10 customers, and that's when your business grows phenomenal. Like, if you ever look at the numbers if you get 10 customers a month and 1 team member, I think it takes like 10 months in your PMD. If you just teach someone how to do the same thing, and teach it and teach it and teach it. And that's easy. You don't have to look at these big numbers of someone going, do you know what? She's got 3,000 customers this month and I've got 4. Because your 4 could have the best product story. Your 4 could join the team and they could become NMD. Yeah. You don't have to compare. This is the kind of the problem that we have, this psychological thing where we always think we're doing shit, even when you're doing amazing. Even if you have 1 customer, what if your 1 customer is like the next big Olivia Measures? Like, oh my God, I would be so happy.
I don't think the world needs 2 Olivia Measures. Like, we're all right with 1.
No, we only need the 1. Like, don't.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like, can you imagine? Like, this kind of momentum that you get. You don't need loads of people. You just need a couple. So yeah, think about that way. So think about how many your numbers are. Then think, right, if I can do that, I can do more. And that's when it becomes about you and not about other people. And that's when you have to kind of really dig deep and think, am I being lazy, or do I really want this? And I mean that sincerely, because there are definitely people in my team, and I'm like, how many people have you spoken to today? They're like, 1. And I'm like, when's the last time you spoke to someone about the business? A month ago. I'm like, I thought you said you wanted to quit your job, because that's not the action. Because that's not what I did when I went to quit my job. I worked like a bitch. I was just honest. I was just like always talking to people. And then you can speak to people, like, if you get yourself in a rhythm, you can be like, right, I'm going to speak to 3 people in the morning, and then I'm going to speak to 3 people by lunchtime, and 3 by dinner time. And you know, I'm in bed. I'm just going to go through my little list on Facebook and pick 4 or 5 people and start conversations. And if they're asleep, they're asleep. They might get back to me in the morning. And then tomorrow morning, I've already started my 3 early. And before you know it, you're speaking to 10 a day, 20 a day. And they're not every day, because sometimes you're going to have conversations that kind of like, they obviously carry on and stuff. But then you've got a role that you're speaking to people all the time. And don't feel like you have to jump on the conversation when they reply to you. Like, have a bit of etiquette, be busy. That's good. Like, it's like a guy, if a guy messaged you, you would be like, oh my God, I must reply. You give it like 5 minutes, you pretend you're cool.
Oh, you like, women are saying.
You Snapchat all your friends and you're like, oh my God, he's fucking messaged me. Like, what do I reply? I'm being cool though. Like, you cool with your customers too. You don't want to be too keen, because like then they think you have nothing else to do but talk to them. And that's not either, because you've got to be like, I'm busy. I've got loads of customers. I'll get back to you in a bit. Tomorrow morning. Like, don't be too keen. And that works too. So there's loads of things you can do, but it's all about real action. And you can't, it's just not the action of, I've just got nice pictures. I'm going to copy her wording. I'm going to copy her pictures and copy her wording, and I'm going to put it up. Or I'm going to buffer it, because that's even how lazy I am. I'm not even going to put it up now. I'm going to buffer it for tomorrow, which means not only am I doing fuck all right now, I'm doing fuck all tomorrow as well. Eventually, I think I'm going to get promoted, and it does not work. I hope none of you get offended by swearing, by the way, because I just...
it's all good.
It's like, it's that thing. You have to really think, right, strategically, I need to speak to as many people as possible. I need to be like customers and business, and think about a bit of both. And the best customers, like the best team members are the ones that were customers first and that kind of thing, and have fun with it, but go with intention, and you just would be amazed how quickly it can build.
So coming from like a sales background, I know we're different in Juice Plus, it's not sales, but what...
It is sales. I had this conversation last week. I had honestly, me and Jeff Roberti, we were in the corner like two little naughty kids, and we were saying, everyone says it's not sales. He said, it is sales. I was like, I know. You can say it's sharing, but you know, you don't get paid to share. We get paid to sell. So and it's not a bad thing though.
No. But would you say, because we're helping people, so it's not a bad thing, but would you say you took
product, like,
yeah. So would you say you took a lot from your sales background into this? And how has that helped? How do you seal the deal with customers and new distributors?
Okay, so there's loads of like sales kind of tactics and stuff, and I don't know. There's loads of kind of sales tactics, but some of them aren't really relevant. I think a lot of the time it's kind of really assessing what the person wants and being a friend. I always like to think, especially with Facebook, because Facebook is all about community and friends. So what I like is if I'm talking to someone and I think like, this is what I would really recommend for you. And it's not always the most expensive product. And sometimes it's just one product to kind of introduce into the business, because that's how I got started. That's how you got started, Scott. Like it was, and then you kind of lead yourself in. Yeah. That's not a bad thing. But I always think, right, if that was my friend, how far would I push this? Because I know what they want, as like they tell you what they want. Like, I want to lose weight, or I want, you know, my skin, whatever. They give you the reaction they're hoping to achieve, right? As a friend, how far would you push them to say to them, just do it? Because that makes sense. Yeah, I have like a 2-year-old, well, she's nearly 2, and I'm buzzing all the time. And I was like this through my pregnancy as well. So I've got so much energy all the time. And that is Juice Plus, because I used to live on energy drinks and now I don't. But you imagine, right, if you say to them, like, well, how far would you push your friend? Like, do you know, it's kind of like, if you were in a, like, I'm assuming there's loads of girls in here, right? Because my team.
Yeah, there is, yeah. I've got a few lads in my team, but it's mostly female dominated.
That's because we're awesome. But like, if you imagine if you were in like a shop with like your best friend, and there's a dress and she's not really sure about it, but you know she looks amazing, how far would you push her? You'd be like, just get it, you look amazing, like you're gonna feel incredible. That's kind of like where you need to be at with your customers, but to a point where you know it's for them, not for you, because there are always more people and there are always more customers. You should never feel desperate for the sale because it's your promotion. It's whether it's going to really help benefit them or not. So then that's why I've done that many times with my customers, and sometimes I've even said to them, look, this is what I think, but I don't even want you to say yes to me now. I really want you to go away and think about it. Or go away and talk to your husband, or just go away and look at some of the testimonials again. But I'd always say to them, this is what you told me you want. You've told me that you want. You've come to me because you've seen that I was talking about my skin, for example, like it's changed my skin, and then now you're going a bit about it. But to be totally honest, before I was doing this, my skin was awful. I couldn't even get makeup on my face properly. I had psoriasis all around my eyes, I had like a psoriasis beard. Like, it's not attractive, and it really knocked my confidence. And I don't have that anymore. And to be totally honest, if I paid 3 times the amount for Juice Plus, I'd be happy. And then they go, do you know what? You're right, because you have to hit people where the pain is, right? And that can work for anything. And do you know what? It's true, and it's life, and it's not pushy, and it's not mean, because sometimes it's the same thing. I say the same thing with some of the people who inquire about the team, and they're like, oh, I really want your life. And I'm like, yeah, but you said that you can't really afford to join the business, and that's fine. I'm not here to slate that you can't afford to join the business, but I couldn't really afford to join the business either. So what I did was I made sacrifices, and I made it affordable, and I didn't go out, and I made sure that I could pay for it. So and now I haven't worked in like 2 years, almost 3 years. I have a daughter who's 2. She's been around the world 15 times already. Like, and it only cost me 50 quid. Like, are you fucking shitting me? And then I'm like, you went out last night and got leathered for no reason. Like, really though, how much do you want it? And then people go, actually, no, you're quite right. Like, it's a bit embarrassing because I'm really hungover still and my life is still not any better. You know, it's
you're like, obviously your passion just resonates through the way you talk, you know, how you are. So people see your passion, people see you believe
as well. Yeah, I'm not sleazy and pushing. I'm not like do it, but no. I'm like, you said you wanted to change.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So you basically find out what people want and then offer what we have, but be passionate, have the belief, and
always something. And if people are a bit like, oh, about the products because of the cost, for example, there's always 2 ways to go through that. That's kind of the biggest thing I always get asked. Like, people say it's expensive. I'm like, they think it's expensive because you haven't sold the benefits yet. Everything's expensive if people don't know why they need it, or everything's expensive if they don't want it. So you need to create the want, create the need, and then they want it. And that's for everything. Like, that's why people want the newest shoes or the newest lipstick, because they it's been put in front of them so many times they want it now. And our product is very similar. Like, and that's for me, that's not me from a distributor point of view, that's not me from a company point of view, that's me from a marketing point of view. That's when people start wanting stuff. When they see it enough and the desire for it outweighs the excuses of why they can't have it.
Yeah.
So that's things like when we share the pictures and we share obviously the not necessarily like overshare the lifestyle of the business, but just be honest about the stuff that I always find honest about the stuff that would make the most difference to somebody.
Yeah.
And showing people stuff rather than going, oh my god, like my biggest pet hate, and I've definitely done it before, and I've definitely seen members do it. My biggest pet hate is when people are like, oh my god, I've seen my wages, I nearly fell over. I'm like, you need to fucking relax, because that happens every month, and you need to just control it. Like, it's just not the way. But if it was the other way around, and they're like, I've just treated myself to this with my wages.
Yeah.
Like, go you.
Yeah.
You not be like, I nearly passed out because I went on my online banking. It's like, relax. Really. Like, it's just, it has to be authentic, and authentic is everything, with the products, with the business, with everything.
Yeah. Would you say that people buy into you as a person as well before they look at the product or the business?
I don't know. I got a lot of my team were like, I'm really happy that you swore on stage, because we'd been really gutted if you didn't. And I was like, love you guys. Yeah, but people buy into people who are real, I think, as well, real and honest. But that's why you do well, Scott, because you're exactly the same. Like, you, because if this, and I'm just going to throw it out there, I don't want to embarrass you, but like, this is how I find you exactly the same. When I first met you, I was like, who's this hunk? I was really pregnant, and I was like, on stage next to you, and like, you're tall and you're gorge, and I was like, oh my, and you know, like, from a girl point of view, I thought, oh, I bet he's a right knob. And like, because you just do, right? And then you were always lovely, and I was like, oh, he's really nice. And it's one of those things. It's one of those things that people always have this impression of people, but you are real, you are honest, you are like, you're very open with the fact that you love Jade. Do you know, that kind of thing? And it really warms to people quite a lot. And that's because you're yourself, and you've never felt the need to be anyone else. And that's why people like that do really well. And we've got loads of different characters in our business. No one's exactly the same. Obviously, now I don't think you're a knob. But like, loads are exactly the same. But like, it's just, you have to be you, and you have to be unapologetically you. I've been told by so many people that I need to stop swearing. I was told I needed to lose weight just after I had my daughter, and I was stressing about my weight anyway. So I was like, some skinny little bitch come up to me saying I need to lose weight was not making me feel good. Like, I was already panicking about it. And you know, stuff like that. And I was told I needed to be this and this and this. And then I had someone in the business tell me, I'm not going to mention names, I have to be a bit drunk to mention the old name. But like, someone basically saying to me like, oh, you need to be like a wallflower. And I was like, what the hell is that? They're like, you need to be one of those girls that you're like, act really dead innocent and cute, and you need to act a bit stupid. And I was like, why? And like, because that's how you get really far in this business. And I was like, I have no idea how you've got as far as you've got, because that's ridiculous. And like, do you know, that kind of thing? Just be yourself, and that everyone's different, but we all really get on, like especially with all the PMDs together. You guys should have seen us in Scotland. It was just crazy. We're all
we won't go into that.
We'll talk about it.
We'd be here too long.
But like we're all.
Yeah, so do you know what, Shanae? You're so right. You just got to be yourself. You have, like, there's no point trying to be something you're not. And I love your attitude. I love your personality and how you go about things. And it's not blunt. It's just real. You're real. Like, you'll say to your team members, how many, like you said, how many sales have you done, or how many people you spoke to. Well, don't expect to leave your job or build a PMD business or whatever it is you want. Like, I love that.
Things that people can actually, what I do with my team especially is what's it said?
Proper diverting her.
I know, but I can tell you guys some stories. Like, I can really get to town. But like, what I was going to say, especially with my teams, I'm sweating, Scott. I have to sweat, mate.
Yeah.
You're like,
Max the radiator.
Gosh, you are. Get naked, come on. I think I'll send that in Scotland as well. I'm joking. But it was I'm just joking. But there was definitely at some point where all the guys were in kilts and I had my phone and I was videoing it. It was hilarious. So it was, anyway, I can't remember what I was on about then. What I do with my team especially is I talk about things that they can control, and it's all about the things that you can control. So like when you said, I asked people how many like customers they'd have, I don't really do that because you can't really control how many customers you have, but you can control how many people you speak to. Yeah. And if you speak to enough people, you're going to get the customers anyway. So now I have people going, I've only had 4 customers. I'm like, how many people you spoke to? 10. I'm like, well, you weren't going to get 20 from 10 anyway. Like, if you speak to 10 people a day, like if you're on about like, do you know when people come in and they say, I really want it? I'm like, okay, well, you need to big action. Because really wanting it ain't enough. Like, this isn't the secret. You can't just dream about it and then wake up and it's going to be there. People aren't going to knock on your door and be like, can I just join your business? Like, it doesn't work that way. It really just comes from action, and it comes from what you can control. And the only thing you can genuinely control is how many people you speak to and the way you speak to them. And that's it. Would you talk to people who don't? Let's have a look.
Oh, I've got a new one. I've got another one. A lot of people ask me this, Shanae. New starters, how do you get them going?
Kind of the same thing. So I just kind of teach them to do the same kind of thing, have their product story, their own. Obviously share other people's, that's fine as well, but it really is about starting their own product story. I do appreciate that there are people who come into the business, not the product, but the product is the business. Like, it's the same as saying you can have a team. If you've got no customers, you've got a club, but you haven't got a business. So the product really is the whole point. But I do appreciate some people join the business with the intention of eventually getting on the product. But in the meantime, they can go through the clean eating plans. They can still share the lifestyle kind of stuff. They can still share the healthier way as such. So there really is no excuse for that. And it really is kind of just getting the point across of just trying to be as product of the product as you can be, in the way that's comfortable to you, if that makes sense. There's loads of things that new people can do, but sometimes it's just bombarding people can be too much. I always find that my new team members need a win really quickly, but the win can be very different. So some people only want to earn a couple of £100 a month. So when they get to DD, they've earned £100 a month. They've done it. Like, and then you, like, as the upline, you're like, oh shit, like I thought they were going to be SDD. And then you kind of like, the conversation changes, right? So then I'd be like, oh, Scott, man, like, I really thought you were going to go for SDD this month. Like, maybe next month. But that's negative. Whereas you're thinking, I've done it. I've done £100. That's what I wanted. Yeah. And that should be celebrated. It should be what they want to achieve, should be what's celebrated. Or it could be even just, I think even having a win, especially if you're using Facebook, is getting a customer. Because I'm not being funny, before you join Juice Plus and before you use your Facebook for this kind of business, isn't it strange to even think that you're going to get a customer through your friends list?
I remember getting my first customer. It took me 48 hours, and when I got it, it was like the best thing ever. I was like, wow, I've actually got a customer.
And you're shaking, you're like, what's your card number?
Yeah.
So scary. I remember mine as well, and it was so scary. But mine was the girl that I knew. So the first time I got a customer that I didn't know personally, I was shitting myself. I was like, oh my God, what does she think of me? Does she think I'm going to steal her money? Like, do you know, you start panicking. It's like when you see a police officer and you start shaking, you've not done anything. You're like, ah, they're looking at me. There's a conversation I was having today with one of my friends when we were out for lunch. A police officer walked in and I goes to her, God, I'm really panicking. We just sat there with the babies. And she goes, oh, me too. But she goes, it's because she's Scouse. And I was like, fair play. Fair enough. I get why you're shaking. I was getting all nervous for no reason. But it's just bizarre. Like it's just, you know, just have fun with it. The business it's not designed to make you feel awful. It's not designed to make you feel horrendous. Like even if you're brand new, everything is a win. Everything is a step forward. You guys, I don't even know if he mentioned this actually. When we were in Birmingham last week, we did an NMD thing with Gordon Hester. Before the convention kicked off. Gordon Hester is like one of my favorite people in life. Like I absolutely love that man. He is incredible. We probably speak like every 3 days or something ridiculous. Wow. Like I love chatting to him. We just get on so well. And he was doing this presentation with us and he was talking about Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett is one of the like richest men ever in the world. He's worth billions. Like I don't even know, I think hedge funds or something. He's just absolutely minted. But the thing that was interesting about Warren Buffett is he was an entrepreneur his whole life, but 99% of his money was made after he turned 50 years of age. So it makes you think, bloody hell, what was he doing in all that time? And you always think like, oh God, was he 50? Did he just like hit a jackpot? Did he join a new business? None of those things. What he'd done in all of those years is he spent so much of the time like learning and like really practicing and getting really good. And that's kind of what we do as well. It's kind of a craft. You learn it. And then all of a sudden he just smashed it and he just went up like that. And that's kind of what we have as well. So even if you're brand new, or even if you're not brand new, right? Even if you've been in the business for like 3-4 months and you're still keen and you still haven't got a clue what you're doing and you still haven't got a customer and you still think no one wants to join your team, there are people out there who want the business and there are people out there that want the products. At the minute, all you're doing is just learning. And that's fine. Like doctors study for years and years and years and years and years before they're even allowed to perform on person, you know? It's that kind of thing. There is a learning curve, but once there are peaks after that, and everyone's exactly the same. There's no one in the business that's not done it. There's a big learning, a big flat learn, and then there's a peak, and then there's a learning curve again. And then when you think you nailed it, you're fucked. You got to start again. And you're learning again, and it just happens to everyone. So even when you're new, you might just be at that peak where you got to learn. So learn everything, and don't always look for the people around you to necessarily like spoon feed you. Like we never had any of this. We didn't have Zooms. We didn't even have groups.
We have nothing.
We had no.
I had Jay Bates on the end of a text message. That was it.
I didn't even have an office for 3 weeks. It's like, hello, can someone please?
But do you know what we did? We just got on with it.
We just learn ourselves, and then you go. But think about it, everything's there. Like you can just go on like Google, search Juice Plus videos, and there will be some videos from some NMD somewhere. It could be like some American guy from like 20 years ago. The information is still solid. Yeah. And then you start learning that way. And it's when you get yourself into the state of like, I'm going to learn everything, then you're going to smash it. Because confidence, it's the same as when, if I said to any of you guys right now, okay, get on this now, you're speak for 3 minutes about why you love the product. You'd probably be able to get, like, you'd probably get there, right? Because you've got your own story. If I said, spend 3 minutes, give me the company history, you'd be like, oh, I don't know. I know a bit, but not loads. If I said, spend 3 minutes talking to me about your kid, or 3 minutes telling me about your last holiday, it'd be easy because you've lived it, you're confident, you know what you're going to say. And actually, even if you're not prepared, you know what to say because you've been through that experience. You've got confidence with the story. That's exactly what this is. The more you learn yourself, not what someone tells you, or the little 30-second blurb would tell you a little bit about shakes or a little bit about capsules, the more you really do yourself. Your confidence is massive, and then everything becomes easier because you're confident with it. And that's it. I mean, and the last thing I'll say about people when they're brand new in the business is just understand that it's not hard. It's just different. And it's the same thing. Like I've got one child, she is a babe, but I know a few of you guys will have a couple of children or have friends who have a couple of children, and they seem to manage things better than us one child women. And we act like our life is over because we can't figure it out. And it's the same thing when you have one kid. It's so new that you don't really know what you're doing. Everything is so hard. And then all of a sudden you've got a mum who's got like 5 kids and you're like, what is she like? She's Superwoman. How does she cope? And it's not because it's got easier, because it's technically got 5 times harder, but they're just better at it because they're used to it now. And that's what our business is. The longer you do it, the better you get, because the more used to it you get. And that is it. That is the only thing. And I really, oh my God, I talk so much.
Sinead, I'm not going to take too much more of your time, because you've already taken 45 minutes out of your night. What, just to like wrap up, like what attributes would you say you need in this business to succeed? Obviously, just give us a list of a few that you really think.
I was thinking about this the other day, right? Because I don't want to give, because I was asked this by one of my team members the other day, and I was like on my little Facebook group, and as I was writing the answer, I thought, oh, it's so boring and generic. Do you know the same stuff like believe in yourself?
Yeah.
I thought, what are the things that really got me going? For one, have a little mental note of all the people that are waiting for you to fail, because you're never going to let them succeed. And also, and I can say this because Lee's not here, and I know this isn't going to get broadcast into any of my groups, if you've got an ex-partner who's a bit of a dick to you, make sure somewhere on Facebook they can see what you're doing, because it feels amazing, let me tell you, when you're looking at their pathetic little life and you know yours is getting better and better.
I love that. I can relate to that.
So that's a really good one. And then just things like that, people who want you to fail, like just don't be afraid of them, don't block them. I used to do this, I used to block them and hide, and I just think, do you know what? Actually get in their face and then use it to spur you on, because nothing will spur you on than wanting to, wipe that smug look off someone else, and it will really get you going. So those things I think are better. Obviously believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, like reality is who else is gonna, and learn and never stop learning, and really be serious about it, but not just learn about network marketing. There's so many things out there. There's so many really amazing books.
Yeah, you love the compound effect. That's been good for you, isn't it?
Compound's one of my favourite. Darren Hardy used to be part of NSA.
Wow.
He was in Jeff Roberti's business.
Wow.
Because NSA was the biggest direct selling company in the whole of America like 40 years ago. Yeah, so all the big wigs were in it. Yeah. It's crazy. The compound effect, I'm like in love with the compound effect. It just makes complete sense. There are so many other books there are loads of really like books that are quite short and snappy, but there's great books. Like I used to go through reading one book a week. If you have the time to do that, do it. If you haven't got time to do reading the book a week, to be honest, now you don't even really need to. There are so many things on like YouTube where you can find people who read the book and they just digest it in 5 minutes. In fact, let me show you this guy. And I only actually found him about a month ago, and I'm like in love. He is amazing. He reads a book a day, and then he does videos about it. And what you want to do is, because you want to kind of keep it broad, you don't always want to listen to this, like read the same shit, right? So you want to be reading some stuff one day about maybe like leadership, and the next day it might be about like sales, or the next day it might be about like having a healthier life or having a happier life. And he's really good. His name's Ty Lopez. So I'm just going to show him up on my phone there. So it's Ty, T-A-I, and then Lopez with a Z. He is incredible. Look for him on YouTube. He does videos every single day. He's absolutely amazing, and some of his stuff is so good, so on point. He's really honest, and he swears a lot, so I really appreciate that. He's really good. So even if you're thinking like you're not in the like you just haven't, that you don't like reading, or you haven't got the time to read, a lot of his videos are like 10-11 minutes or whatever. Some of his stuff is really big, and some of his stuff, he's got videos as well that are a couple of hours, and they're really good. So like for journeys and stuff, they're perfect. I'm really big on him at the minute. But apart from that, I love reading, I love learning, and I just think that you can never really get, like, you could only get better. You're never going to get like stupid from reading. You're only going to get smarter. I was going to say stupider, and then I thought
stupider.
That would make me look like a right knob. So
we can always be a better version of ourselves, can't we? Doesn't matter who you are.
But really, like, make it a conscious effort to do that. Like, and the same way as, there's so many other things. Really. I know we should be doing it for the business anyway, but really make a conscious effort to be healthier, because everything changes. Your mindset, your body, the way your confidence is, everything.
Right. Yeah, I'm on a 90-day detox. Well, not a 90-day
I
detox.
know, you're so
90
boring.
no drinking and
The worst time to go like detoxing.
yeah. But like you said, I'm more focused into my business, you know, and things are going better. And obviously, I'm getting married in September, so I've had to focus other things and multitask, which us men aren't good at. So I needed to do it, but it's working.
I love that. Do you know, Lee gets in so much trouble every time we see you. I'm like, Scott, explain to Lee where you're getting married. And you're like, and Lee's like, fucking hell, man, you're making me look shit. I'm like, where did you get Jade's ring again? And he's like, oh. Like, no pressure.
Bless him. Bless him.
No,
Right, Sinead. I won't keep you for much longer. I've got a lot of love for you on these messages and through my phone, and a lot of people saying, oh, I love her and her energy. And so again, thank you so much for taking time out to coming on this call. You know, we really do appreciate it, and we'll send you lots of love on social media. I'll try not to get everyone to inbox you or all that sort of stuff, because it's, you know, there's 100 odd people on this call. But what I'll do,
it's fine, because it's good, because I think one of the things I'm doing it with Leanne Sykes, who's part of John's business. Yeah. We're starting to do some Super Saturdays. I think we're going to do mainly the North, and I think it'd be cool for like, because you've got quite a lot of the Northern team as well. I know you've got a lot of Leeds, so we want to do some more of those as well. And I think it's about kind of getting everyone to work a bit more together. I did a Periscope last night, and I got hijacked by some prick called Pablo. So
not Escobar.
I was like, no, Pablo. But like, I think it's going to be funny now. From now on, just kind of like more fun and, you know, funny to get more of everyone together and working together, because got a lot of love for it, all the team, and we definitely work better together than apart. Yeah,
you're right. And do you know what, like, this month's going to be a crazy month. I think we're going to break all records in the UK, and do you know what, this year is going to be epic. It's so much to look forward to. You know, the convention was amazing, the Bournemouth one coming up, you know, in my hometown.
You know, Bournemouth, how many tickets they've already sold?
Yeah, 2,100 or 2,200.
Only 4,000 capacity. And then Simon's got another, 500 coming out like next week.
Yes, he has, yeah.
That's ridiculous. I bet he's like, shit, we need to get a bigger venue.
Yeah, but I've said to my guys, obviously, I know a lot of guys here that run the nightclubs now. I'm hiring a nightclub on one of the nights. And
well, don't forget me, Scott. I want to be like...
You can be a special guest, don't worry. Cool. We'll get the champagne flowing. Thank you so much, Shanae. Honestly, really appreciate you taking time out. And you know, guys, what we'll do, if I write on your wall, Shanae, get all my guys to comment on that. Is that all right? Because rather than getting you loads of inboxes and all that sort of stuff, we don't want that. So I'll write on Shanae's wall. You just comment on it and say thanks, guys, and you love her to pieces and all the rest of it.
I really appreciate it. That's lovely. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care. Thanks, Shanae. Bye, guys. Thanks for coming on the call. Take it easy.